الآن مفروض كان معنا زميلنا عبد العزيز القضيبي، لكنه حصل له ظرف، فحيكون بعده آخر سبيكر عندنا اليوم الأستاذ عبد الكريم تنفير. رحبوا معنا. شكرا.
Assalamu alaikum. How is everyone today? Perceptions. Perceptions are powerful. They define our reality. What if I were to tell you there is no one reality? Each one of us has a unique perspective of the world, and this view is limited by our perceptions. What's even more interesting is that this perception can be easily changed and even manipulated. Have a look at this clip. Now, what you see here is fairly obvious. The man running is trying to steal the bag from the man in the suit. A perception has been formed in your mind, and that is the reality as you know it. Now, what if I were to alter this reality for you? Have a look at this clip. Your perception has changed. The man that you thought first was a thief is now the hero. 2 points to note here. Perceptions are powerful. They determine our reality, and they are easily manipulated and can be easily changed. Now, why is this so? You'd be surprised. A mere suggestion can alter your behavior and change your perception. An experiment was conducted using Scrabble. Two groups were given two different set of words. One group had words like aggression, anger, fear. The other had more relaxed words like calm, peaceful, serenity. What happened? Both groups were taken to a separate room where an experimenter was talking to a participant, and this was the real experiment. The idea here was that these two people were talking and ignoring both these groups. How long did you think it take for each of the group to interrupt the experimenter? The group which were given the relaxed words waited on average for about 9 minutes before they interrupted the experimenter. The group with the aggressive, angry words on average waited for 5.5 minutes before they interrupted. So what just happened? Two groups, random people, just mere words influence their behavior to a certain situation. That's the power of suggestion. Now, you may have all heard of this, the placebo effect. Research has proven that a sugar pill, a placebo, can be 75% as effective as the top 6 pharmaceutical drugs. Now, either something's wrong with those drugs, or a power of suggestion is at play again. So, what's happening here? Just the fact that if I give you a sugar pill with a mere conviction that this will work actually affects your mind, and it actually is healing you. Who has not seen this image? The image of Elan Kurdi. This one single image defined the refugee crisis. Millions are suffering. But why did this one image move us more than anything else? An experiment was conducted by Save the Children, a donation that wanted to understand how best to create a message that could create the maximum donations. They gave one set statistics about Africa. Things like food shortages in Malawi are affecting 3 million children. Or things like in Ethiopia, 11 million people need food assistance. They gave all of these facts to this group. And the other group, they gave them a story of Rokia, a 7-year-old, and a simple call to action. She needs your help so that she can be better fed and she can be better educated. Can you imagine who won? 50% more donations were generated for Rokia against the entire continent of Africa. That's the power of image. That's the power of suggestion. Now, what's going on here? Now, if you look at this, simply words and images are influencing behavior. Why? You think you control your brain. But scientists have come out to learn the existence of neurons, what they call as mirror neurons. What they do is, when you look at something, your brain mirrors that action as if you were doing that same action in your own mind. Now think about this for a moment. Imagine seeing an action has such a profound effect on you that your brain mirrors it as if you were actually doing that action. Now think about the younger minds. An average research says that kids watch about 6.5 hours of media, out of which about 3 hours are consumed watching television. Now imagine all the violence and perversive behavior that they're exposed to, the kind of impact it would have, the kind of impact images and stories and words can have, that they actually mirroring them in their mind. Now, when it comes to images, brands and advertisers are master craftsmen. They know how to evoke emotions. They know how to use the right visual stimuli so that your mirror neurons are triggered and you are evoked to a certain response. Now, you've all come across this, but let's take the example of popular sodas. Can you imagine taking 10 teaspoons of sugar in a glass of water and actually drinking it? We do that all the time. The kind of imagery and stories that these brands have created defy the reality, because they have crafted a perception as they so desire, and that's what moves us to think it's okay to have 10 teaspoons of sugar in a glass. So, what's the point of all of this? I think the point here is to understand the limitations of our mind, the fact that perceptions are so powerful that they can shape our reality. Professor Ralph Keeney described it, that our biggest killer isn't cancer or heart disease or smoking or obesity. It is our inability to make smart choices. The point for you to know is, because of the limitations of our mind, we make certain choices. We are evoked to respond automatically to certain triggers, stimuli, in an emotional way, without realizing the consequence. Now think about this. If mass media, if they want to use this power to influence you, if a single story is portrayed to you in a way that redefines the way we look at the world, imagine the impact it would have and how dangerous it could be. So the whole point really is, because it's so powerful, because words can just change the behavior of groups, because images can impact us in such a strong way, our best bet against it is to be open to as many sources as possible, so that we can have the whole view and a better view of the reality. Now, on a positive note, the same limitation is also our greatest strength. As you saw in the placebo experiment, the fact that when you believe in something, it impacts you in such a strong way that it actually heals you. And that is the power of will. This also explains all the heroic achievements that man has achieved so far. From climbing the tallest mountains, people think of situations which are logically impossible, but they achieve them. Why? It's because that same power of perception that makes us believe something and then believe the impossible. So when it comes to achieving anything, your perceptions can be so powerful, because when you will yourself to do something, your brain sees only one reality. And for you, that becomes the reality. The impossible becomes the reality. Thank you very much.